What's up guys, Readiness Reviews here again. It is ration review time once more. Today we're going to be looking at a Lithuanian ration. This is menu number 2. I picked this up on eBay. 2 of these is going for about $30 at the moment, so about $15 a meal. And this is Lithuania's version of an MRE. You can see it comes in a very similar type external package. They have several different menu varieties. I've never had anything from Lithuania before, so I'm pretty excited to check this out. Let's go ahead and cut into this and see what we have inside. We'll be opening that today with my Spyderco Paramilitary 2. We'll just make a small incision up here towards the top. So right away, one of the first things that we have, an item that I've been wanting to try for a very long time. We have the Lithuanian crackers, aka Panzer waffles. These are supposedly extremely hard and difficult to eat, and that's one of the reasons that I've been excited to try it, because I really want to see how difficult to eat they really are. This is a 100 gram pack, and it looks like that is 386 kcals, 8 grams of protein, and 72 grams of carbs. We have a 100 gram pack of hazelnuts. Looks like we have a Best Buy date on this, January 8th, 2021, I believe. We have a little accessory bag, which there is a hole tore in the package there. We have a Ruta chocolate bar, also 2021 expiration date on that. That is a 36 gram bar. We have a little pack of honey, that is 30 grams, a 12 gram pack of sugar, a pack of instant coffee. This is a drink mix, but let's see if we can get some more information on that with the translator. Orange flavored soluble drink mix with vitamin C. Comes with a little leaflet of information there. Looks like that's just a contents list. We have some Esbit style fuel tabs, spoon with a very interesting shape. Seems kind of flimsy as well. A lemon refreshing towel. That's a moist towelette. A zip tie, which I don't know exactly what is the immediate use for this is, but if you're in the field, you could always find something to use a zip tie for. That can come in very handy. And we get a whole box of matches, which are in fact blue tipped, for those of you who care about that sort of thing. We have a taped box here with our main entree. Comes in a retort pouch, and this actually feels like it has some nice solid chunks of probably the beef. It's a 220 gram retort pouch. I'll see if I can insert a shot of the translated ingredients list there. And that does come with a rather large flameless ration heater. It actually has a very large heating pad. There's a better look at that heating pad. There's a lot of material in this. I'm expecting this to get quite hot. And we'll pull our water in up to the fill line. Just about perfect. Fold it over. And I'm gonna give it a good shake just to get the whole pad wet. Just for some added insulation, I'm gonna slide that back into the box the main came in. And that is making some noise already. We'll set that aside. I did miss one item when I was doing the unpacking, and that is the stove for the Esbit style fuel tabs. It's very simple, just a piece of sheet metal, very thin and kind of sharp. I suppose you could use this as a improvised cutting device if you really needed to. You could probably sharpen down the edges of this to give you some kind of blade to do something with in a survival situation. We'll be right back with everything else onto a plate. So far, the FRH has been very vocal, and it has puffed up quite a bit. There's a lot of heat radiating from it. While this is at its maximum heating potential, I want to go ahead and hit it with our thermometer. 195, up to almost 200 degrees on this thing at the hottest point. 203 at the hottest, 204. It's right there at the boiling point of water for Fahrenheit. That's extremely impressive. This ration did not come with any kind of hot beverage bag or anything of that nature to allow you to make your coffee with the FRH. So I believe that is what the Esbit style fuel tabs are for. So we're gonna fold this stove over. The directions are very simple. The long side you fold up, the short side you fold down. So we'll go ahead and do that. It looks something like that. Pretty sharp corners, so you have to be careful with this. We'll pop one of these fuel tabs out. It has an extremely offensive fishy odor, which is pretty normal of Esbit style tabs. Place that in the center of our stove there, and we'll do our best to get that lit with a couple of these matches. The match lit nice, so let's see if the fuel tab takes off easily. I do believe it is lit. I do not have a Lithuanian mess kit, but I do have a Dutch mess tin. I have a pre-measured amount of water in this for a cup of coffee. There it is. This is an aluminum mess tin, and we'll just set this right on our stove. And hopefully that one fuel tab will be sufficient enough to heat that to make some coffee. So we have our crackers, or Panzer waffles, as they are known. They feel very dense. Let's give these a smell. They smell very good though. They have a slightly malty smell. I'm really not picking up much of the caraway in the scent, but you can see that they do have caraway seeds in them. They have a very bready smell. and they do feel pretty hard. Take a look at this chocolate bar. Looks like it does have some bloom on it. It's probably seen some heat at some point. You can see it's a little bit deformed. So it probably got a little warm and then crushed in. There's some spots on the edges here that look like they've seen some melting, and they are a nice dark chocolate color. So hopefully the blooming is only on the outside. We'll look at our little honey pack here, and it is not even crystallized. And that's pretty surprising because it's very cold in my house. Let's open up these hazelnuts. Pretty simple hazelnuts. They don't seem to be roasted. They don't seem to be salted or flavored with anything specific, just plain hazelnuts. That Esbit fuel tab is certainly not the best smelling thing. It has sort of a burnt aroma coming off of it. Well, there it is. We can see it has quite the flame going. Let's make our vitamin C drink. The directions on this say to mix it with 600 milliliters of water. Sort of crystallized looking in there. A little bit chunky. I want to taste just a little bit of this by itself. It has a very artificial orange flavor, sort of like Tang. If you ever had baby aspirin, that's a very similar flavor to that. We'll add that to our glass. I don't have a 600 milliliter bottle. This is a 500 milliliter bottle. So it might be a little stronger than it should be. That filled up almost my entire glass. This drink appears to have some actual sugar in there because it's taking a while to dissolve. That will be good enough. This will be the perfect opportunity to wash up a little bit with our refreshing towel. It's lightly moist. Texture feels about like a US MRE wet wipe. Nothing too strong. The smell is a very nice, fresh lemon detergent smell. Most certainly refreshing. Well, I'm getting pretty hungry, so let's try out a couple things. I want to go right into these hazelnuts. Here's an up-close look at them there. They do have the skins on. They don't appear to have anything special going on, just nice whole hazelnuts or filberts, depending on what part of the country that you're in. Let's give those a taste. Those seem pretty fresh. They're not roasted or salted at all, just like I figured. Just very natural, plain hazelnut flavor. Hazelnuts are pretty high in calories and fat, so this would be a nice source of energy on the go. Let's wash that down with a little bit of the orange beverage. Even in the less than 600 milliliters that it calls for, it's pretty lightly flavored with that much water in it. That harsh taste of the baby aspirin is gone now that water's added to it. It's just a very light, weak Tang flavor. Better than drinking just plain old water, but there's not really that much to it. It's a fine drink, but nothing spectacular. Let's get our main entree out of the FRH. It has a tear notch on the side here to allow you easier access to the bottom part of the pouch. There's a look at the heating pad. It's all blown up and it is super hot. Get a temperature on that right quick just to see what it made its way up to at the end. 165, and we're easily 20 minutes past the time I started that on. This pouch does not have any visible tear notches on it, so we'll just go ahead and cut into this. We got a big lump of stuff in there that smells awesome. Put that out onto the tray here. Looks sort of dog food-esque, just sort of a mush of different ingredients, but looks can be deceiving. The smell this is emitting is a very beef stew type smell, pretty pleasant. So as far as the meat goes, it looks to be a ground or minced meat product. It was in a pretty big clump over there on the side. It's almost like you put a piece of meatloaf in with some pearled barley. We can see some carrot in this, some chunks of meat there. Now that I got it mixed up a little bit, it does look quite a bit better. Let's get a temperature on the actual meal itself. Looks like we're at about 123 in the hottest portions. Not too bad. No sense wasting time. Let's go ahead and get a taste of this. We have some nice big pieces of barley in that, some carrot, and then we have our minced beef meat. Let's taste that. Let's get one more bite. That's a very simple flavor. It's quite salty. It's a very down-to-earth, hearty flavor with a pretty thick sauce, sort of stick to your ribs type of meal. I feel like most people could probably eat this without too much problems. Let's get a taste of just the meat by itself there. It's a little bit pink looking. I'm not afraid of that though. The meat's very nice. It is seasoned with various spices and herbs it tastes like, but nothing too overpowering. This is actually very tasty, but for what it is, it's very nice. After a hard day out, marching, or doing what have you, I could see this being a very comforting meal. Whatever this is, I couldn't chew up. I think our Esbit stove has burned its way out, so we're gonna go ahead and try to make our coffee. Let's take a look at this powder. Sort of a dark brown color, very small grain, almost like a spray dry. It doesn't have very much coffee aroma. We'll add that into there. And we have a 12-gram pack of sugar, so we're gonna add about half of this. I think 12 grams is a little excessive for 1 cup of coffee. This sugar is a large grain sugar and tastes quite sweet. I'll give this a quick stir just to incorporate. It should be plenty hot enough to dissolve that sugar. No kind of creamer or anything provided with this. So just black coffee with sugar. And I'm gonna add that to my stem glass as usual. As usual, I managed to make a bit of a mess. I spilled some coffee directly into the hazelnuts, but luckily I've already tried those, so no big loss there. Here is the cup of coffee that I have left. Let's go ahead and give that a taste. Whoa, very bitter, pretty sweet. I did add about 6 grams of sugar to it. I've heard mixed reports on this coffee. Some people hate it, some people really like it. I think I'm in the camp that I like it. A bit more bitter than I'm used to, but I think it's fine. It doesn't have this very like super robust coffee flavor. It's more subdued, but it's not bad at all. I wish I would have had the whole cup instead of just like half of it. Very mild acidity to it as well. Now let's try the thing I've probably been looking forward to the most in these Lithuanian rations, and that is our crackers. We'll see if we can break one of these in half. It broke fairly easily. There's a look at the cross section there. We can see it has a little caraway seed peeking out. Let's get a bite of this. It's not as hard to chew as people make out. You want to bite into it with your side teeth, not your front teeth. That's the key. It's a very dense, bready tasting cracker. If you don't like caraway, you're not gonna like this. But if you like caraway, you're gonna really like this. This is awesome. We'll try a little bit of honey with that. There's a look at that cracker with honey. That little sweetness is quite nice. I really like these. I think they get a bad rap. They're a lot more substantial than your average cracker is. It's more like eating an actual bread product than it is eating just like a cracker of some sort. And it took me a while to eat that one. You're gonna have to invest some time to eat this whole pack. Back to the main, since I've had a moment to contemplate the intricacies of it. It's one of the better things I've had in a ration, to be completely truthful. It has a very mild onion undertone, sort of like a leaky flavor. It's just very genuine, plain, down to earth, hearty soldier food. It's just very nice. Get one more bite of that honey with the cracker. It's a savory style cracker with the caraway, but that little bit of sweetness from the honey adds something pretty nice to it. I actually want to taste this honey by itself. It's very golden color. I mean, honey's always good. We'll even do a filbert in some honey, because why not? Those would benefit more from salt than anything. All right, the last thing to try will be our chocolate bar. Let's see how bloomed it really is. Break this in half. Oh wow, it is bloomed throughout, it looks like. I was expecting it to just be external. Let's see if we can get one more cross section of this. Yeah, it's very crumbly and bloomed all the way through. It's sort of just falling apart in my hand, turning into a chocolate dust. Go ahead and taste that. It's sort of just breaking apart in my mouth. There's no snap to it like there would be a normal solid chocolate bar. But as it dissolves, sort of melts in my mouth. I'm getting a very rich, dark chocolate flavor from it. Even though it doesn't look the best and it doesn't have the best texture, it still tastes fantastic. That's really good chocolate. All right guys, well that was my first experience with a Lithuanian ration. This was Lithuanian menu number 2. It's beef with a barley porridge, and I was very impressed. The only thing in this meal that I think it could do without or do with a major change would be the hazelnuts. I like hazelnuts, but plain hazelnuts by themselves is definitely not that great. It's just whatever. It's, you know, calories, which is good for a ration, but other than that, not really much to it. I was pleasantly surprised with the Panzer waffles. I actually really like these. I'm looking forward to having more of these in the future. The main was very tasty. The chocolate, although bloomed, was good. And I spilled some of the coffee, but what coffee was left, I actually liked it too. So I'd give this meal a thumbs up for sure. They're not super expensive, so if you want to try something foreign and not break the bank, this is a good way to start. And for just a single meal, this is a pretty dang good option. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Every subscriber helps keep me motivated to produce new content for you guys. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, please post them down in the comments. I make sure to read all of those and reply promptly. We'll catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.